Hey, all you Reds of the world, this is Nate from Reds of the World, and we're excited to bring you our Aston Villa preview. Obviously, Manchester United, their second game of the 2015-2016 Barclays Premier League season is finally here, and we're headed away to Aston Villa on a Friday night of all nights. So that's going to be exciting. To all the Manchester United fans who are traveling to Aston Villa, whether you have a ticket or not, going to fill up the pubs. Good luck, safe travels down there, and then of course if you're heading back Friday night or you're waiting till Saturday or the weekend, safe travels back to Manchester to all you guys. Obviously this is our second match. This is a huge match for us. We started off with a win against Tottenham at home. That was exciting. We didn't play as well as we should have. Maybe we should have scored more goals. Maybe we should have looked more fluid, all of this stuff. Looks like Louis van Gaal still tinkering with the tactics and the formation he wants, but maybe he's found some of his base players that he wants to play. But I was hoping for a more fluid match against Tottenham. I'm fully expecting us to come out against Aston Villa and look really sharp and look prepared to take another 3 points and to win our second match of the season. Louis van Gaal is obviously, he's one of the most tactically expectant managers that are out in most of the world. From where Herrera comes at from Bilbao, there's a lot that has to do with tactics. He talks about each number, each position, what they're expected to do, and Louis van Gaal expects that of his players. And I think for new players coming in, and even some of the players from last year, they're still figuring that out. They're still trying to be in the right spots at the right times and do what the manager expects. Because I think now with us adding quality to the team, adding more players, 2 players in every position is the way that it was said. Each player is going to want to keep their spot. They're not going to want to lose out to the player that's behind them waiting to take their starting spot. So I think each player is really going to want to show in the Aston Villa match that they're getting what the manager's saying, that they're prepared to do it on the big stage, and that the manager can count on them when it comes time. Because we've got some big matches this month, next month, and as we head into, hopefully, into the group stages of the Champions League, we're going to be expecting a lot from our players. So that's a big step. My thoughts on the match personally is I fully expect Manchester United to come out and play strong. It's a Friday night match, which is quite interesting. The Premier League is adding 10 Friday night matches, but it's actually not until next season that the matches are going to be played. The reason United is playing on a Friday night right now is because on Saturday there's some type of protest or march or something that the police requested that the match be moved to Friday night so they could keep those events separate and keep everybody safe. So here we head to Aston Villa on a Friday night, and it's kind of a preview of what next season's going to hold for those 10 matches, whoever those clubs are that are going to play. But I'm expecting us to go down, and I'm expecting us to look sharp. I'm expecting the ball to be moved around quickly, and I'm expecting a few goals from Manchester United. That's what I'm looking for. I think Louis van Gaal is going to stick with his same formation, his 4-2-3-1. I think he wants to do 4-3-3, but again, I don't think he feels like he has exactly the players that he wants to make the 4-3-3 work the way that he wants to. I think he wants to shift Memphis out onto the wing, but he's not going to do that yet. I think he might want to see Mata in at the 10 position or playing on the wing still, if that means Rooney's up front in the 4-3-3. I think he's got some expectations of what he'd like to do, but I don't think he's able to do that yet. And so now we're kind of waiting through this time where it's frustrating to see the formation. It's frustrating sometimes even to see some of the players the manager picks, as we might want to see some different players. And it's especially frustrating to watch us get out and not play up to the potential that we know that we have world-class players that they should be playing up to. But I think the manager's going to do that. Aston Villa, I expect them to play really well. I think they're going to come out focused. I think they're going to come out playing hard. They're home for their first match. It's going to be an excited crowd, but there is no better traveling crowd than Manchester United. I only hear them on the TV here in the States, and I hear them singing the entire match. I see the videos posted on YouTube after, if it's goals or songs being sung, and we have a great traveling group that sing and support the players win or lose. So even though Aston Villa is going to come out, their fans are going to be ready. I fully expect United fans to be the loudest, as we always are. Aston Villa did win last week, 1-0. In the second half, Rudy Gestede, if I'm pronouncing his last name right, I'm not sure, but he came on as a substitute, had a nice bullet header from Ashley Westwood's cross, and Aston Villa won their first match 1-0 against Watford, so that's really good. Benteke's obviously gone to Liverpool, so that big striker up front is gone, but I think Gestede just steps in and fills that. He came on as a substitute last week, but I'm probably expecting him to start this week and get a full run up front, trying to get headers. Chris Smalling is going to be back there. Blind is not the tallest center back, so it should be interesting to see how that works out for Aston Villa. Brad Guzan, their goalkeeper, the American, had a great match last week. He kept them in it. Watford outplayed them. They had some great shots at winning the match, some great shots at getting goals in the first half, and even in the second half, especially after Aston Villa had scored, they had a couple of good chances to try and level things up, but it never came. So Brad Guzan played a great match, and Michael Richards as their captain, right in the spine at the back there in front of Brad Guzan. He had a good match too. So Aston Villa, good squad, decent. They finished mid-table last season, and I'm fully expecting them to kind of be in that again this year. They picked up a couple of good players, so they might press up a little higher. But I expect them to come out and really press Manchester United. But with our quality, I expect us to hit back and hit back well and quick and score goals. With Louis van Gaal, like I said a little bit earlier, I expect him to start out in the 4-2-3-1 again like he did the last match, and I'm actually expecting the exact same starting 11. I would like to see some changes, but I don't think the manager's going to do that. I think he's going to stick with what he's got, give those guys another run out because he's expecting a lot from his players. So in goal, I have Romero. I think obviously Darmian at right back, he's amazing. Our signing of the season possibly. Then Smalling next to him with Blind there and Shaw out on the left. I think Carrick will be right in front of that back four with Schneiderlin off to his left or his immediate right, protecting that back four, breaking up plays, intercepting balls. I expect that. That should free up our front four to go out and do what they do. Mata out on the right, probably Depay again at number 10 with Young out on the left. I wouldn't mind seeing Mata shifted into the number 10 role and Depay and Young being our wingers. I think we could see a lot of pace. I think we could see Depay get some freedom, just like Ashley Young does sometimes when he's running at players. But I think Depay's just got that extra burst of pace, that extra creativity, and just that something different that makes him a future world-class player. He's already amazing, has done well, and I'm waiting to see some of that excitedness. I would fully expect Memphis to get his first Manchester United goal, his first Premier League goal against Aston Villa. But again, Mata, Depay, Memphis probably in the middle, and then Young out wide. Obviously, our captain, Rooney, leading the line up front. So that's my starting 11. I would like to see some changes, to be honest. I'd like to see Young dropped and Pereira given a good shot. Pereira looked amazing for Brazil in the World Cup this last summer. He looked really good in the preseason tour when given a chance, and I think he could do a great job. So if I had my call, I'd like to see Young dropped and Pereira brought in. I'd like to see Carrick dropped for Schweinsteiger, even though I think Louis van Gaal's probably going to rest Schweinsteiger again, give him 30-40 minutes in the second half, and then start him in the Champions League match next week when we have Bruges at home. But I'd like to see that. And then obviously Herrera brought in. Where does he fit in? Man, there's so many good players. Herrera's one of those ones. I'd like to see him at number 10 and maybe Mata dropped. It's hard to drop players that are so good and bring in players from the bench that are so good. But that's how I would do it. I don't think the manager is going to do it. I think he's going to keep his same starting 11. And I think we're going to see those same guys run out. But I'm expecting them to click better. I'm expecting the passes to be quicker. I'm expecting us to move the ball better. And I'm expecting goals. I'm expecting Rooney to score and Memphis to score. My final score line, I'm expecting a 3-0 victory for Manchester United. I'd like to see Rooney score 2 and Memphis add another one for his first goal. And I'd like to see us look comfortable, look crisp, look quick, and I'd like to see us get those 3 points and go on having won our second Barclays Premier League match of the season, 6 points heading into our Champions League playoff match next week. Do you agree with me? What would you change with the starting 11? Would you swap out any of the players that I said? Get your comments in below. Let's talk about it. I love chatting. I love talking Manchester United. Obviously, the fans are going to be great. They're going to be in good voice. It's Friday night. It's the Barclays Premier League. And of course, it's Manchester United. Don't forget to subscribe to Reds of the World. We're trying to add more content now that life is back to normal, and we're trying to bring you guys great Manchester United comments and content from here in the States. So exciting stuff. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the match tomorrow. We'll come away with 3 points, and we'll be heading into the weekend sitting back, relaxing, watching Arsenal lose, watching Chelsea and City draw, and watching us move up the table. So to all you Reds of the world out there, good luck, be safe, and come on you Reds.